Abandoned brand new cars, lucky break. That was just Fisker, just one company. It now seems that China's car industry isn't all it's cracked up to be. So imagine if that headline is true and only 7 out of 170 Chinese automakers will survive. What is going to happen to EV residuals then? Just returning to the story about Fiskers a few weeks ago. And if we go here, we go to Autotrader, you'll see there's a Fisker Ocean, but electric cars, Fisker, search, Fisker Ocean, 1, 2, that looks like the same vehicle there, but the different prices, the different registrations too. So you've got the Fiskers there. There was also one in, I think it was Motorway, didn't sell. The vehicles that were at the side of the road, abandoned brand new cars, lucky break, dumped, left to rot in the street by a broke manufacturer. They were sent to the auction. I believe they went to John Pye auction. You'll see there was one of them. Fisker. I don't know what they brought. I don't know why anybody would buy them, because I believe the people who bought a load of them and wanted to buy all the software and the warranty equipment, I think that collapsed.
Fisker Ocean owners abandon all hope as vehicle data cannot be ported to another server. When Fisker filed for bankruptcy, American Lease announced a deal to buy Fisker inventory and set up its own cloud platform to provide software updates and connected services. However, the company now discovered that porting vehicle data to another server would be impossible. This is a new blow to Fisker Ocean owners who thought American Lease could support their vehicles. Fisker bankruptcy opened a can of worms as existing owners found themselves without after-sales support. Soon the situation will get worse as Fisker cloud servers will shut down, turning every Ocean SUV into an expensive garage decoration. There will be no connected features, no cloud services, and no one to pick up the phone if there's a warranty claim. When Fisker filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, it started selling off its inventory, with American Lease interested in buying the remaining Ocean SUVs in bulk. The New York-based firm would have paid between $2,500 and $16,500 for each vehicle in Fisker's inventory, for a total of $46.3 million for 3,231 cars. American Lease is a major supplier of lease vehicles to Uber and Lyft drivers in New York City, and it thought the cheap Ocean SUVs would come in handy. As part of the deal, Fisker agreed to provide the lease company with all relevant source codes or other proprietary software operating elements, as well as existing developer work. This suggested that American Lease could support Fisker Ocean vehicle software, which was welcome news for existing owners. However, a new development meant that Fisker owners are now on their own. According to a TechCrunch report, American Lease discovered there is no way to transfer vehicle data to a new server outside Fisker cloud infrastructure. Since American Lease needs this data to operate the vehicles after Fisker is dissolved, it has filed an emergency objection to the startup's liquidation plans. In the filing, American Lease says that Fisker only informed it at the last moment that it wouldn't be able to transfer the information to a new server. This puts a halt to the plans to support existing vehicles and adds more drama to Fisker's bankruptcy saga. As it turns out, Henrik Fisker screwed everyone, starting with Fisker's customers, its business partners and employees. It goes much further than this, as multiple parties have submitted filings that have surfaced new information. The US Securities and Exchange Commission revealed that it objects to the liquidation plans because it has opened investigations on Fisker and is afraid the startup might destroy documents. The Department of Justice filed another objection on behalf of the NTSB after Fisker attempted to make owners pay for recall repairs, which is illegal. Finally, the landlord of Fisker's former headquarters said that the company had abandoned the premises, leaving it in complete disarray. As you can see, Fisker didn't fail because the market conditions were difficult. It failed because its corporate culture was to cheat everyone, and this can only take you so far. Unfortunately, the ones to suffer the most are ocean owners, who paid for this scam with their hard-earned money.
This lady here, a woman who snapped up a sleek £42,000 Fisker electric SUV, has been left with a 2.5 tonne garden ornament that can't move after its software packed in and the firm went bust. Karen Simonson, a marketing manager from Southampton, made the leap to battery-powered motoring with Fisker Ocean Sport in December 2023, setting aside concerns that businessman Henrik Fisker's last car company had gone bust. But the 52-year-old's electric dream became a nightmare as she suffered repeated issues with its software. Fed up, she decided to send it back to Fisker under the terms of the warranty. But when someone came to collect it, it would not start. Days later, Fisker Incorporated filed for insolvency, meaning she had nobody to return the car to. Technicians had disabled the 12-volt battery after the alarm kept going off, but this has left it an inert brick that cannot be moved or even opened. Well, I'm sure it can be opened. There'll be something like Range Rovers. You have an emergency key. You flip a bit off the door and you open it like so. So I would imagine it can be opened. Far from having a dream motor, Miss Simonson has been left with a car-shaped paperweight in her driveway for the last 10 months with no end to the saga in sight. It has just been, from day one, a catalogue of catastrophes, she told Mail Online. The experience of an all-software car has put her off ever buying an electric motor again. Ms. Simonson decided to make the leap to electric at the end of 2023 after test driving a Fisker Ocean and falling in love with the car's cool eco-credentials, including its use of recycled materials and zero carbon emissions. And there you go, there's her with the vehicle. Might have done a bit of weeding, but having said that, I took some photos at Grosvenor Garage, and you just, when you're there every day, you just don't notice. When you see somebody else's forecourt, you think, Christ, look at the weeds on that forecourt. You pull up on your own forecourt, never notice. So I'm not criticising. Despite the fact that the company's founder, Henrik Fisker, had failed once before, his first firm, Fisker Automotive, filing for bankruptcy in 2013, she was confident that his new venture would have more success. I'm sure she didn't even know who he was or that he'd ever had a firm before. She took out a bank loan and picked up the car from the glossy Fisker lounge shop at London's Westfield shopping centre. Like rival firm Tesla, Fisker eschewed contracting sales out to dealerships in favour of selling directly to the customer at the Westfield and in Milton Keynes. Even then, there was a cruel omen that she admits she could have heeded. The car failed to recognise the key fob and wouldn't start. Something in me said, don't do it, Karen, but I overrode that in the excitement of my new car and took it home, she said. Ever since that day, I've had issues with the vehicle. Loads of them. Lots of things didn't work on it, and they would always say it'll be a software update that'll fix it. Common issues with the Fisker Ocean software saw many of its basic features hampered. From the key fob issues Ms. Simonson experienced on day one to issues with its air conditioning. But there were also far more serious issues, including errors with sensors and even sudden losses of braking power. After experiencing a raft of problems with the car, which repeated visits by Fisker technicians failed to fix, Ms. Simonson decided she'd had enough. She contacted Fisker in June to send it back under the terms of its warranty, and the firm sent out a trailer to pick it up, only to find that they could not start the car. Again, if you send a trailer out, usually there's a winch on it, and if you want to get it on, you get it on. An issue with the 12-volt car battery meant the alarm was constantly going off, so technicians ultimately disabled it, having to remove part of the front of the car just to access the bonnet, and ended up immobilising the vehicle altogether. The day they came to take it away, it wouldn't go into drive, so they couldn't get it onto the car trailer, she said. Again, the AA or RAC, they've got some hubs at the back, freewheeling hubs. Where there's a will, there's a way. It would be the last time she would see them. Days later, Fisker filed for Chapter 11 insolvency, taking its UK operations with it. There is no sales support, no technicians, no Fisker left to contact, and a big 2.5 tonne reminder that she has £42,000 out of pocket visible from her front window. She added, "It's a nightmare. Now my car is actually just bricked. It's a garden ornament because it won't go into drive. It's sat there since June. I've been back and forth with the insolvency service, but I have no idea about anything. I'm literally at my wit's end. I've got a car I can't move." Sources with knowledge of Fisker's liquidation said the process was likely to last several more months owing to the complicated nature of the process. And while Ms. Simonson says she has been speaking to members of the Fisker Owners Association, a club set up by those determined to keep their oceans on the road, she's worried that trying to get the car going again might affect her return. She tried to file a claim as a creditor in Fisker's US insolvency case too, but received a letter informing her that her claim would not be taken forward. She kept her old diesel motor when she got her Fisker after the EV was delivered, months ahead of schedule. Unlike her snazzy EV, it actually works. And she says she is unlikely to go electric in the near future while cars like the Ocean continue to exhibit problems. "I shall be sticking to a fossil fuel vehicle. It has put me off supporting the environment because this is what happens. Electric car ownership is not what it is cracked up to be," she said. A spokesman for the insolvency service said, "We are unable to comment on ongoing liquidation procedures." Now, that makes me think, Chinese vehicles. You've got Autotrader promoting Chinese vehicles at every opportunity they can. All our British press promoting Chinese vehicles and name dropping every possible instance they can. Every article loaded with keywords, loaded with BYD, 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 all the way down. Makes you wonder why. And then you get other articles that say things like, 7 out of 10 motorists would buy a Chinese car. This is the 12th of June 2025. More than 7 out of 10 motorists, 72%, would consider buying a car made by one of the new Chinese manufacturers entering the UK market, according to new research. 72% would consider buying a car made by one of the Chinese new market entrants to the UK market. BYD, Maxus and Chery. Well, you've seen, I've just done an article, it's in the auction, it has a fault. It's only 2 years old, it's only done 10,000 miles, but for some reason it hadn't been repaired, under warranty, and it's not showing service history. I've been onto the Maxus dealer. The Maxus dealer said it will be out of warranty if it hasn't had its 3,000 mile service done. So, however, 18% would rather stay with manufacturers that are established in the UK, shows June's Startline used car tracker. Now, two things. This Startline, they come out with some survey every month. It's 301 consumers and 66 dealers were questioned. So I'd hardly say that deserves headlines and deserves featuring in a Motor Trade magazine. It just means nothing. But Chinese EV market could soon face a brutal reckoning. Chinese EV industry is booming, but it could be about to face a painful reckoning. Price wars and slowing demand are putting Chinese EV players under pressure. Execs are warning that 2024 will be a knockout round.